CWL Anaheim. I'm joined by Dirk. I'm Fox, and we have another elimination matchup between OpTic Gaming and Enigma6. These are two teams that finished at the top of their respective pools this weekend, all throughout the tournament. They've made it to the final day, but they still find themselves in the loser's bracket, and only one team can move on. OpTic Gaming is coming off of that 3-0 victory, Dirk, and Enigma6 is coming off of a Game 5 win against TK.
Yeah, a team that you might not be used to hearing on Championship Sunday for quite some time.
While,
I think dating back all the way to COD Champs, as well as back to MLG Orlando as well. But TK took him the distance. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the losers bracket here to see how things are going to fold. So now you're seeing at the top we have Red Reserve and Cloud9. That will be a match that will be going on there off stream, and that will go into the losers round 6. And then OpTic Gaming taking on Enigma6, the match you guys are about to see. The winner will be taking on Splice.
And this is going to be a very big deal. OpTic Gaming and Enigma6 have a history of going the distance. Enigma6 also coming off of their more recent roster change of picking up Royalty. They haven't streamed their scrims that much. They've been a difficult team to follow in their progress of improvement. There's been a lot of talk of them just needing some players that can keep up with the slaying of General. Proto has definitely filled in those shoes, and now they have Royalty, who they feel definitely gives them that presence. And I was talking to some of the casters and analysts, and they were talking up Proto quite a bit.
Yeah, he's definitely guys been performing all weekend long, but we have to give credit to the new guy, to Enigma6. Royalty has been going off. He was a reason why they were almost able to get that reverse sweep yesterday against Evil Geniuses, but they weren't able to come out on top. But map number 1 is underway. It's going to be breakout hardpoint between OpTic Gaming and Enigma6.
Royalty acting as our front line here. He actually finds a trophy system. I thought that was going to be an excellent flechette grenade, but the defensive OpTic Gaming ready and willing and prepared for it. He's just kind of not able to find too much of an engagement around here. Very late to the opening gunfights, and OpTic Gaming takes an early positioning advantage, but not much comes from it.
Still nobody inside of the hill yet, but now you're going to see General push inside as he does get the assist there over towards loading dock and Proto. He's going to be able to find himself a 2-piece. It was on a 5 streak, but is going to be shut down, so that is going to earn him that scarab as well. But now General, this is all they need to do here. Just pick a corner and just sit inside of the hill. You're going to see the rotation start to come in from OpTic Gaming, trying to slay out through middle before they move over to that cell block side, and they did an excellent job of cleaning up the Enigma6 players, but now you see the early rotations are going in favor of E6.
OpTic, Enigma6 still fighting around mid. Proto and Cade come out on top. Of Formal is very often that difference maker. Proto shuts him down, though. Erad working to its advantage at that close range. And now Enigma6 is going into the second hardpoint with the initial setup, as well as a 20-second lead. And OpTic is on the offense.
That was a big kill to take out Karma. Now it's going to force him back towards that middle map area. So let's see how the setup is looking for the side of Enigma6. You see the push coming back from that back road side, and Scump is going to be the first player to get that break. Now this should be OpTic Gaming's hill to take here, but they have to worry about General. He's utilizing that outside wall, and he goes inside of the hill, but Karma's going to pick up a big 2-piece to shut that one down, but Enigma6 players continue to be a nuisance inside, and just like that, Enigma6 is holding strong.
Cade, keep it going. Cade and Proto pushing through the duo. They do find some time. They clear out OpTic Gaming, but OpTic is still spawning P3. They're spawning so close, and all they have to do is run across middle map if they want to contest. But it looks like the play call is to instead prioritize Grave. I think they had an idea that General was spawning up behind them, but it was too little too late. That's 3 kills in a row from General, one of the strongest players and most consistent players on this roster, and he's taking point, doing some damage to the green wall.
Him and Proto right now just carrying the team in the slang, but look at Proto, 11 and 12. The smoke grenades, I believe, are going to come in from the side of OpTic Gaming. Cade going to be the lone player inside of the hill, trying to get this set up to force those spawns out and back garage, and they are getting exactly what they want, but they need to get Crim6 away from here. He has the MV4 in hand. He is going to be challenged by Proto, but when the man is this hot, he's going to be hard to stop. Now 75 away from getting those Trinity rockets.
12 and 2. Proto needs to stop here soon if OpTic wants any hope of coming back in this hardpoint, but he's still pouring it on. Seconds away from the bombardment. He re-challenges Crim6. I think he got a bit too eager there to finish up that kill. He had more than enough time to just back off and try and force those score streaks, but Crim6 with a big kill to finally dump some cold water on this man.
89-4 is the score. OpTic finally going to get the scrap times here from Graveyard, but now the rotations are coming in. Karma is going to get the big kill there on Cade, but look at the middle map. 2 more players from Enigma6 are going to be pushing, and just like that, OpTic Gaming is going to be able to take them out, forcing them to spawn across map. They should be able to get a good hold on here. Let's do a quick run through on the side of Enigma6. Proto has those Trinity rockets. This can almost guarantee a break here on Commissary.
And with how many outdoor hills we have, that Trinity rocket is definitely going to be a big factor later on. We see OpTic Gaming is currently in position. This is a situation where he could call it in, force them to run back towards elbow. As you can see right now, Karma will do just that. He can't afford to die to this Trinity rocket, but they do have to give up their map pressure if they want to stay alive here.
And you see the hover come in there. Now the players are starting to flood from the side of Enigma6. Cade is going to be inside the hill. One player hits that wall, and that is going to be Crim6. And now he is joined by his other green brethren inside of the hill, and they get the break there. The final 20 seconds looks like it should go towards OpTic Gaming. The Enigma6 players currently stacking over towards this shower. The shots are going to come in. That's the key to Formal to try to jump forward and get that kill, but Cade has that EMC in his back pocket. He finds one. He's not going to be able to find the second there, but now we are going to begin our second set of hill rotations in 5 seconds.
So OpTic was able to respond to the Trinity rocket by still getting the hill time afterwards and fighting off Enigma6. There was a team kill onto Royalty from General that definitely hurt them a bit, but good on OpTic Gaming for staying poised and understanding that score streaks are going to be coming in from a player that was originally 12-2. So now we're right back to the beginning of our rotation of hills on Breakout Hardpoint. All teams are going to be fighting for control of this top platform. Last time we saw E6 come out with a 20-second lead.
We did, and Pro is going to be in the lower hut. The man is continuing to go on the spree. 17-7 is currently what he is sitting at. Scump is going to be the player inside of the hill for OpTic Gaming, but the pinch is coming in from Enigma6. It's going to be Royalty to get the first kill there to break this OpTic Gaming setup, and Cade is going to be joining him as well. 20 seconds left before we do rotate, and Enigma6 is in perfect position to force OpTic Gaming to spawn on the other side of the map still. You see General doing what he does best, getting in that groove on a 3-kill spree, getting right up in the enemy face.
General staying in position on showers, just as you said, big power position to have, especially if you can stop that rotation from OpTic Gaming. Last time they came through with all 4 players taking off the anchor and just swarming that side entrance to the hill. This time's a little different though. Enigma6 is playing a little bit farther back, and Proto completely just buffers that entire push for his team by getting a big double kill, and that's going to delay this OpTic push even more.
OpTic has been struggling to try to break this up that Enigma6 has on his hill, but you see the distraction by Crim6. Now 2 players are going to be hitting that wall run. That is going to be Formal and Scump. Formal's going to be able to find 2 of his own. Scump finds a 3rd there, and the break comes in, but the spawns are still heavily in favor of Enigma6. It's going to be Proto trying to do some damage out here. He slides in. He spots a couple players. He's going to be able to draw the first blood there, but Royalty is going to get the team kill there on Proto.
Formal with the casual double. Enigma6 still responds in a big way with several kills, but they do lose map pressure here. Proto trying to flank to get this last bit of scrap time. His position has been given away. The OpTic player has to know where he's at. Crim6 turns around and guns him close range with the NV4. That's a big win, and Crim6 has been on point with that this weekend.
Yeah, and you see Enigma6 loves to favor this cave side to make the enemy team spawn in that back garage, so that's the setup they're trying to go for here. Cade is going to be leading the charge, but Crim6 and Karma are going to pick up 2 kills there, and you see the kill feed just start to light up green. The green wall is in full effect here. Karma is starting to heat up, as well as Crim6. The teammates for so long currently sitting at 3 apiece as Crim6 does fall.
See, Karma's got the advantage of Father's Day. He's sudden these people, finally goes down. E6 is able to stop him on the 4th streak, and it looks like they're able to take over the rest of this setup, but OpTic Gaming isn't going to quit. They're coming up from cave. Formal loses a big gunfight onto General, and that's just going to give them that map pressure. And on this money hill, you want to see OpTic take it here soon. Otherwise, this game could get out of hand.
See General doing all his can. He's going to get very aggressive. One more. He's going to be on a 4th streak, but now he's going to be taken down. So Scarabs are going to be there for the side of Enigma6. But the question is, when are those going to come into play? You see OpTic Gaming heavily focusing on those early rotations, but Royalty gets a big 2-piece to try to break that. They have back helipad control. He spots that player in elbow, and he will be taken out. No, General loses that gunfight to Karma there, but he is the lone OpTic Gaming player inside, and you're going to see these Enigma6 arrows start to flood in. First player inside is going to be Cade. He finds one. Is he going to be able to find the second? Players both jumping around. Karma coming out on top, and he does, and he secures the point for OpTic Gaming.
Oh no, Karma. Karma, don't do it to him. 175 points from his next score streak, and this man, in the past minute or so, has just been on fire. He's finally taken down. Enigma6 has been quick to stop him before he gets past the Scarab both times. That's very good for them. And now they also find themselves in control of the hardpoint. OpTic Gaming are spawning up way across the map towards the cell block, and they have a pretty long distance to go if they want to get to commissary. I think they're going to give up on this one. I think they're going to move over towards middle map and just try and play for people on the rotation.
We're seeing Proto continue his tear, currently sitting at 27 kills, but so much time in commissary going over towards the side of Enigma6. Now we think back to that first rotation. OpTic Gaming was the one that dominated this hill, but it has been all Enigma6 since right from the start. Proto and the rest of his teammates do fall there. Now he's left last alive here in loading dock. He has that camera ready to go, and they have broken that 200-point mark as we enter the third set of rotations.
So we're seeing something out of Formal that we don't typically see. I definitely think this is a bit of an outlier map for him. He's going 12 and 21, while Karma is actually beating him in the kill column. That's not something we see from him, and I don't expect to see him repeat that performance. He pops the FTL jump to escape and destroys Proto. But that's not without Enigma6 responding. The trades come in. Enigma6 still has the man advantage, and Cade is flying high with an NV4 double kill.
And you see how much Enigma6 is outslaying OpTic Gaming. Like you said, uncharacteristic performance from Formal, currently sitting at 13 and 22. You look at Scump as well, sitting at 17 and 22. But look at Proto, the man that we've been talking about in the pregame as well as General. When these guys are clicking like they are, this is the reason that they have the lead. 213 to 139. 10 seconds left on this. Early rotation in favor of OpTic Gaming, and they should be good to hold here, but you're going to start to see what they can do to break this one. Now, keep in mind, this is one of Enigma6 more weaker maps, where you see him get the big break here, and just like that, Royalty in general take back cell block.
25 seconds separate Enigma6 from closing out this map, and they're in a good position to close out the map on this hardpoint with their setup. OpTic is way out of position. Oh, that's a big win from Formal onto General, being tagged up less than a bullet away from dying. Him and Crim6 are pouring it on through this wall run here, and Enigma6 is going to have a pretty big fight coming up around the corner. General and Cade working together to do so. The beatdown comes in, and Enigma6 still finds themselves in control of the point, but it's not over yet, Dirk.
And Proto is going to go ahead and decide to pop that camel now, just 5 seconds away from taking map number 1 away from OpTic Gaming, and they will do just that. 250 to 140. Enigma6 takes map number 1.
Enigma6 coming out in a big way with Proto bullying the competition from start to finish. We saw some big plays out of Karma, and that's just an interesting thing to note about OpTic Gaming is that that's not how the team works. The team does not work around Karma statting in respawns. We usually see Formal, Scump, Crim6 doing it, and Karma playing around them in a very meaningful way.
Yeah, and just one of the big takeaways from that game, like you said, the performance from Formal, something that we never usually see from him. That is one of Enigma6 more weaker hardpoint maps in Breakout. They actually held cell block pretty good. Usually, whenever a team first rotates, it's so hard for them to break. They have the constant mindset that we need to flood straight down middle and try to make something happen. But look, they looked like a completely different Enigma6 on Breakout.
Oh, Proto especially was just bodying anyone on his screen. We saw so many double kills, huge engagements being won. General was having some big gunfights as well, and they were just working and trading as a team very effectively. So as we get into Crusher, Search, and Destroy, we're moving on from a respawn to a much slower game mode that is Search and Destroy. You get 1 life per round. First to 6 wins. You want to plant that bomb.
It's going to be interesting to see how this one does play out. Momentum going to be in full swing, but we know something about OpTic Gaming. These are guys that we cannot count out at all. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out here. Like you said, this rivalry goes back all the way to Advanced Warfare between these two teams, and both of them have that heart to never, ever give up. You see OpTic Gaming, every single time they get dropped down to loser's bracket, they're saying is just believe. Just as straight up as it is, just believe in us and we can do it as well.
Right.
But they find themselves down 1-0 here to a hot Enigma6. It's going to be hard to bounce back, but if there's a team that can do it, it's going to be OpTic Gaming.
And remember, guys, this is an elimination match. Every map counts, and Enigma6 is currently up 1-0 over one of the best teams in the world in the CWL right now. So that's got to be pretty scary if you're an OpTic Gaming fan. You're looking at Proto, and you're hoping that either Formal or Crim6 can come online to shut him down. It seemed like in map number 1, Karma's performance, he had 2 big streaks that he went on, just didn't seem to be enough to swing things into their favor. So we'll have to see how things unfold in the next map here. But really quickly, I think that it's important that we look at some of those individual maps while the players are getting prepared for Search and Destroy here. Let's take a look at the box score. You can kind of see where things went out of control for the side of Enigma6.
Yeah, and you see the big highlight, the cell block is going to be number 2, the 78 to 33 difference. We saw how well Enigma6 was able to hold it as well as break the OpTic Gaming setup. Now, Rooftop was kind of a toss-up. We didn't see many players jumping into the hill at around until 40, 30-second mark inside of that one, but Enigma6 was able to take that, and Commissary was one that OpTic Gaming was able to hold, but we saw how slow of a start they did get off in Rooftop as well as cell block. And the key players we are highlighting here is going to be Karma from OpTic Gaming, 24 kills, most kills on OpTic. Let's say that again, most kills on OpTic Gaming, usually
Right.
that's Formal completely dominating that 1.0 KD with 40 seconds in the hill. Then you look at General, the man, he didn't put up the numbers that Proto did, but he did what he had to do. Like we always say, General starts to get in that groove. Once you start seeing him on that little arrow on that mini-map, start to push forward to get that pressure onto the enemy team, that's when General is at his best, as well as adding on 112 seconds of hill time.
And this is a really good situation for General. I think this is probably the best set of guys he's had around him for some time in terms of a roster that can compete with this top talent. He has people that can keep up with his slaying to where he doesn't have to solo carry the whole game. He can just be consistent, but he has a great supporting cast around him. Proto and Royalty really keeping up with that kill potential, and it's working out in big ways for Enigma6.
I mean, and you've seen the improvements, right? I mean, Enigma6, the last time we saw them really perform at that high level was all the way back in Vegas. Now they bring on Royalty, and these guys are looking stellar. Just one player just shows how much they can really start to change a team. And then when you bring in a guy like Royalty, who has the past history of being great, going all the way back to, I believe, in Ghost, is even go back there as Advanced Warfare as well with Epsilon NA. So we'll see how Royalty continues this one. Search and Destroy is a game mode that he carried Enigma6 in as well yesterday against Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, and E6 is coming off of a much tougher matchup they had. They went to Game 5 against TK, so you know they have to be warmed up for what could be an even more difficult matchup here against OpTic Gaming. On the side of OpTic, we have Crim6, one of the most winningest players of all time. Karma, incredible clutch factor. It's just a stellar superstar-packed lineup. And Enigma6, definitely newer faces to the Call of Duty scene in comparison to them. However, through the eyes of Enigma6, we see that they get the bomb down, and now OpTic Gaming has to retake the site.
MK is going to be the first player in there, but you see the slide in come from OpTic Gaming. It's going to be Karma drawing that first blood. Going to be pushing forward onto crates. Now they are able to spot one player, but Proto and General are going to be able to pick up kills of their own. Now it's going to be Formal and Crim6. The sniper is going to be out for Formal, but Crim6 does drop. Now a 1 versus 2 situation here. Formal gets eyes on Royalty, but he's not going to be able to pick up the kill there. So Enigma6 is going to be able to close that one out, gets the bomb down as well, and take round number 1 here.
Yeah, we see right here, Royalty's able to catch him with that slide. Oh, he actually doesn't even slide, just a quick crouch. Easy shot, high sensitivity, Royalty snapping right onto the body of Formal. So now we move into round 2. We see Enigma6 wins their first offensive round by getting that bomb plant. And now it's OpTic Gaming's turn to use some of these offensive executes.
See how they go here. Karma is going to be the bomb carrier. See one player over in A. That is going to be Crim6. And you see the 3 pushing over towards B. It's going to be players 4 and 2 from Enigma6. It's going to be General and Royalty working side by side.
A 1-1-2 setup from the side of Enigma6. They're going to be met by a 4-man push from OpTic Gaming onto B site. These gunfights should work in favor of OpTic should they choose to be aggressive, but the flank and the pinch is coming in from Enigma6. Look at your mini-map. That's Cade. He's still all alone, though, not nearly as effective as having his team support on the other side. He's met by 3 players. Kills 1 and tags up the rest, but can he do it, Dirk?
Yeah, now you see the pinch come in there. You see Crim6 being the bait, and Scump comes around from that B site, and they are able to take him out. But you saw as soon as Cade came around there, the OpTic Gaming players almost stacked up in a line of 3 for him to try to take out. But it was just an excellent, well-thought-out play, Crim6 being the bait, and then Scump coming around to finish off that kill. Now OpTic Gaming gets around on the board, and it's going to be tied 1-1.
Yeah, they're not giving him anything. You know, the players are communicating that he's weakened, they got a shot on him, something like that. And they're going to go ahead and engage that as 2 versus 1 rather than feed him 2 1v1 engagements. Cade is definitely someone capable of outgunning those 2 players. So now, take a look at the next round here and what the setup looks like for the side of OpTic Gaming. It seems to be a 3-1 setup from mid lane to bottom lane. But Enigma6 is pushing all 4 players to the B site, just like they did on the first offensive round.
Yeah, and again, B going to be completely wide open. OpTic Gaming opting to give that one up, and Cade gets the bomb down. We're seeing almost a picture-perfect mirror matchup from what we saw in that last round. Cade going to be playing in this near right corner. Yeah, the slide is going to come in again. Once more, Karma leading the charge, but immediately the trade is going to be there. So now it's 3 versus 3. Proto's going to be able to find one. Can he find a second there on Scump? He's not going to be able to. So Scump starting to heat up here, 4-1 on a 2-kill streak. Has that scarab, but he's making way towards that Trinity Rocket. He peeks around the corner. He takes out Royalty as well. General is now left alive to try to clutch a 1 versus 2. And he's going to be behind. Can he get the kill there? No, he's not going to be able to. Scump continuing, and he is going to get that Trinity Rocket as well.
General hesitated right there. I think he was trying to wait and see if he could line them both up, but instead both OpTic players turned around, and that bit of intentional hesitation actually works against him here. Scump is now 75 points from the bombardment, and he's glowing gold. This is going to be a really difficult search for them if he can get that final score streak, with most of this map being outdoors, and they can just favor that outdoor side of the map if they want to. OpTic does have a little bit to work with here.
Let's see here, Scump making very good progress towards that reactive armor as well. Here, just round number 4. Does have those streaks as well. 75 off the bombardment. We know how big that can be on a map like Crusher. The Jammer Grenade is going to come in, so now it's going to get the call for the players to start to rotate around. There's going to be one player coming from middle map. It's going to be General. Was he spotted by player 6? That's going to be Karma there. Big one-on-one gunfight coming down. Shots are going to be traded back and forth, but now it's a 3 versus 3.
Scumpy 6-1, getting that bomb down for the team. Let's take a look at how the action's unfolding up here. He's on a 7-kill streak. Someone stop this man. He's also fully streaked out. Finding another close-range engagement. He can't be stopped. Shuts down Proto, a player to watch in this series, but it still works out in favor of Enigma6. That's got to be scary for Enigma6 right now. Even though they won this round, Scump has fully streaked out, so that could work out for them in the later rounds.
See, it gets to a point, we're so used to Formal being consistent time in and time out. He's sitting at 0-3 in a search and destroy. Didn't have the greatest hardpoint match either. Is he going to be able to turn it around? That's the question.
I fully expect Formal is definitely capable of doing something like that. Turning around what is a poor performance in the middle of the map. It's something that he's done against, more prestigious matches in the past. So I think it's something he's capable of. Now, the question of whether or not he will, that's just going to depend on what we see from the side of Enigma6. And speaking of which, we are on with them for this offensive round as they are once again favoring a 4-hit, nearly 4-hit to this B bomb site, while OpTic is all surrounding A.
It's been every single offensive round you've seen Enigma6 go to B, and that's because OpTic Gaming completely gives it wide open. They've been playing heavy A defense. The bomb plant is going to be coming in there from Cade as well. The players are going to start to back up now. That's Proto and General at the front lines. You're going to see a streak come into play here. That one's going to be from Scum, and the break comes in. He picks up a 2-piece there on Cade and General, and now it's going to be Proto and Royalty trying to fight for their lives. Royalty now left in a 1 versus 4 situation. That bomb is down, but he's going to be so hard to clutch this one, and Scump continuing his mad streak, 11-2 for Scumpy.
So I'm trying to figure out what's going through the heads of Enigma6 right now. I know they have to know that Scump had score streaks and that he worked up that bombardment because he's the one that planted the bomb, right? So my question is, did they just hit that site and they just want him to get rid of the bombardment quickly so they don't have to deal with it later on in the game? Or did they forget? I just want to know what the play call might have been right there because it didn't look like anyone was in range of just sitting inside when the score streaks came in. 2 of them died almost instantly after the plant.
Yeah, we saw the same defense coming in every single time throughout the game, but it worked out in their favor there with those streaks in hand. So a good play call from the side of the green wall here. Now Karma is going to have that bomb in hand. You're going to see a 4-man hit from both teams going into this A site. The flechettes are going to be going out. One player is going to be sneaky here. That's going to be Royalty. We're going to jump on board with him. Should be able to at least pick up 2 kills here. He's going to be able to spot one. Crim6 picks up 2. Now Royalty's left alive in a 1 versus 2. He's going to be able to find one there on Crim6. Now it's a 1 versus 1 versus Formal.
Clutch kill bonus incoming. If he can get this last kill, that's a big bonus towards his Scarab. It's pretty far from it, but the bonus and the value of these kills is what means the most here. Formal, who has yet to find a kill, right now would be a big round to do it so they can have his team go up 4-2 in the map. You take a look at the mini-map here. You can kind of see both these players they really have no idea as to where the enemy team is. They just know that they don't want to be caught off guard. So they're checking all the corners they can, being as unpredictable in their movement as they can. But he still has to get that bomb and put it down. It looks like Proto is seconds away from doing it. Royalty, excuse me.
Royalty, I believe, did spot Formal there. And Formal is going to come out on top of that gunfight. You see the quick turnaround coming in there. Now OpTic Gaming leads Enigma6 by 2 rounds. The score is going to be 4-2. You see Formal, maybe this is what he needs, just to clutch a 1 versus 1 to start to gather that momentum up to try to change the game that he is having. You see here, they're going to be going onto the defensive side. It's going to be Enigma6 going back on offense. So let's see if they throw anything different here. Like we said, we've seen constant B hits from Enigma6 on offense, and it looks like it's going to be the same. Cade is going to be your bomb carrier once more. He's sitting at 5-5. They have the Scarabs in play as well. It's making very good progress at Centurion. You're seeing the same defensive setup, and because Scump still has that Trinity Rock in his back pocket.
Again, 4-hit from Enigma6. OpTic still has yet to respond to it. I think that they're just trying to, I think Enigma6 continues to call their bluff and expect them to all be over at the A site, but this is just kind of odd play here. Most of the kills going in favor of Enigma6. 3 there. Scump finds one onto General, though, and now he finds himself in a 1 versus 2, being outnumbered, and here he's out on the mini-map. He should be shut down quickly.
Sticky situation there for Scump as his teammates really all dropped as soon as that Scarab popped. And Royalty is going to be the player in your final kill cam. See him taking out Scump there in lab. And now they're going to get a round on the board. Now just down by 1 to OpTic Gaming here. It's going to be OpTic back on the offensive.
If you are just tuning in, we're at a very neck-and-neck search and destroy. Game 2 here between OpTic Gaming and Enigma6 on an elimination match. This moment is huge for these two teams as they try to make their rounds toward the grand finals of this $200,000 Call of Duty tournament. Two of the best teams that we have to offer here in the Call of Duty World League are going at it and search and destroy, and lots of engagements are going down mid-map.
General's going to pick up the first kill there, and then OpTic Gaming going to pick up 2 of their own. General's going to rock the FTL jump. He's not going to be able to take out Formal. He gets a nice snap, and now it's going to be Proto left last alive, and Formal is going to be able to clean up that one too. Now OpTic Gaming just 1 round away from tying up the map series 1-1.
You can hear the OG fans roaring. They're finally getting behind their team. They want to cheer them on to close out this map and tie up the series. Enigma6 fans at home, you want someone to shut down Scump. You want someone to have Formal continuing to not produce in this search and destroy. But he's bouncing back. He got 2 kills. Scump is a blessing for Formal at the moment. So let's see how things unfold as they still have access to score streaks, and they're only 1 round away from taking it.
General's going to draw first blood there on Crim6, getting a very aggressive in that middle map, and now the next kill is going to come in. That one's going to be on Formal. Proto takes him out as well. So now 2 players just left up for OpTic Gaming at the start here in this search and destroy. It's going to be Scump, the man who's on fire. He finds the first kill for the side of OpTic Gaming. Let's see how this one goes. 2 versus 3. Karma finds 1 as well. So now it's just a 2 versus 2. OpTic Gaming cuts the deficit down to even.
OpTic Gaming has one of their stronger players alive at the moment. That's Scump and Karma, who's had a pretty decent series up to this point. So we've definitely been keeping our eye on. They have to win this 2 versus 2, but they have to do it in 20 seconds as well as getting the bomb defused. Cade and Proto shut that dream down real quick, bringing that round count up to 4, 5, working their way through that deficit. They hope to force the round 11, Dirk.
There's so much pressure here on Enigma6 to try to take this one because OpTic Gaming is undefeated in uplink. This entire event, they have not lost 1. So you know that has to have Enigma6 shaking just a little bit. A team that's hot on a game mode like that. So this is going to be a crucial win for them. See what OpTic Gaming plans to do here. Scump still does have that Trinity Rocket. The active camos in the hands of Karma as well. And from the side of Enigma6, Proto has that ready to go. So let's see if he decides to maybe get a little bit aggressive and burn that camo here. He's going to have General pushing out to middle map first. He's currently sitting at 6 and 9. See how this one plays out. OpTic Gaming playing base defense. It looks like they might be trying to go for a play to player on Scump's Trinity Rocket, and they do just that. He's getting the calls. He's going to hover it in the air. This gives him his team time to move across the map and make a hit onto that B site. That's exactly what they're doing. That bomb is going down while Scump picks up a kill on Proto.
He finds the kill onto Proto. You got to wonder how Proto wasn't able to avoid that final rocket. As they all rotate over, kills are going down in favor of OpTic. Karma still alive with his payload. Not much action in terms of utility on the side of Enigma6. Cade looks for a big gunfight win onto Scump, who has been a terror for the team thus far in the match. Finds a second kill, can't connect with the third. OpTic Gaming ties up the series at 1-1, and that was a blast to watch through the eyes of Scump and Karma.
And you're gonna see Karma there in your final kill cam cleaning that one up. So now OpTic Gaming fans at home, you can breathe a little. After that hardpoint win that Enigma6 has, your team has tied this series up 1-1. But now it's going to be going into uplink. And like we just brought up in that search and destroy, OpTic Gaming is undefeated in that so far.
Yeah, getting into our next game mode here, I'm going to be keeping a good eye on to Karma. And I'm also going to be looking for Proto to continue contributing. I think that Karma has been a good, consistent factor for OpTic Gaming. If they can get Formal to wake up, I think that this series becomes 10 times more difficult for Enigma6. But guys, we're going to cut to a commercial break, give these teams some time to prepare for the remainder of the series, and we'll be back in a second with Game 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Championship Sunday here from CWL Anaheim 2017, presented by PS4. I'm Dirk. I'm going to be joined alongside Fox. We've already been bringing you guys some crazy action in this series that is currently tied up 1-1. Enigma6 looking very dominant in the respawn, looking pretty good in the search and destroy as well, to be fair. But when you have Scump dropping the numbers in those search and destroys that he does, it's going to be hard to stop OpTic Gaming. But now Enigma6 faces a very tough challenge. They're going to be going up against OpTic Gaming and Uplink, a game mode they have yet to drop here at CWL Anaheim.
Right, and to be fair to OpTic, they came through this tournament pretty much winning every map. They were 12-0 up until their matchup against Luminosity Gaming, steamrolled straight through Rise Nation, and now they're being faced with a new challenger that is Enigma6, and one of the players that stands out to me is Proto. So let's go ahead and hop right into our key player matchup so we can talk a little bit about him, because he has been a monster in this series. He's been going up against Karma, who in both the hardpoint and in the search and destroy has been a very high impact player. In this G Fuel key player matchup, I want you to keep an eye on Proto's slaying potential, and I also want you to keep an eye on Karma's multi-kills that he's had around the objective, because he's been contributing a lot in that regard, Dirk.
Yeah, and I think it's something to keep an eye on, too. We talked about Proto, as you said. You talked to the analysts as well as the other casters, and he's a guy to look out for. I think every single key player matchup that we've had for the side of Enigma6, I think Proto has been the guy that we've highlighted almost every single time.
You have
maybe
to.
there's one time as royalty, but when Proto's putting up those numbers that he does, I mean, the potential that we've seen so far this weekend, it's hard to not highlight him.
Yeah, that man is nasty. Proto has been destroying, even through stage 1. You can see just what this guy can contribute. I mean, he's just a monster. Who knew that when he joined this team, he would be able to keep up in slaying with so many top CWL teams, even on an international level, where he might not be very experienced.
Yeah, now before we head into this uplink, let's do a quick recap here of that search and destroy between OpTic Gaming and Enigma6. You guys going to see the round count there. I mean, it was pretty split. You're just seeing a trend of win 1 for Enigma6, 2 for OpTic. Win 1 for OpTic, and then, for Enigma6, and then 2 for OpTic Gaming once more. But it just went back and forth. Like we said, it was a nail biter, and OpTic Gaming have taken it 6-4. And then the player that we highlighted from Enigma6, that one's going to be Cade. He finished that one with even KD of 1.0. He's finishing at 8-8. And look at Scump, 16 kills in the search and destroy, 6 deaths. I think he had the bombardment in like round number 5, and he picked up 2 kills with it. He was absolutely going off in a 2.67 KD for him. And like we said, if Scump is playing like that in search and destroy, I mean, Formal wasn't even playing that great, and they were able to come out to win. But it was just Formal picking up, slowly starting to pick up, getting those extra kills here and there as well. That's why OpTic Gaming was finally able to take that one.
Right, but the problem with them is it took so long. It shouldn't have even gone down that far. But with Formal, failing to contribute up until that 1v1 round that he won, that was just a very scary sight, because Enigma6 was looking pretty good on their end. However, Scump and Karma really able to cover up that weakness and come out with a win in the end. That bombardment and the Trinity Rocket won OpTic Gaming some big rounds that game. And actually, with a score differential of 2 rounds, those 2 rounds where Scump got the kills might have been the difference maker.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, it came right down to it, like we said. We saw the same defensive strategy come out from OpTic every single time, and mostly the same offensive strategies coming out from Enigma6 too.
Every round except for the last few.
It was just A, sight for OpTic Gaming on defense, and B, on offense immediately for Enigma6. And like you said, they tried to throw that curveball in there at the end. But now, let's focus into this next one. It's going to be, I believe, the throwback uplink. In your opinion, who does this favor? Are you going to go with OpTic Gaming or Enigma6?
I look at OpTic Gaming, but I feel like Enigma6 does have the coordination to keep up with them. It's just that OpTic Gaming has been so devastating in the past in this very game mode. We see that they're able to chain together mistakes that the enemy team makes and also big plays that their own team makes to just have a massive lead over their competition. I don't see too much in the corner of Enigma6, so they just got to hope that they can make it to this hard point next up, because this is going to be a tough map for them to win.
Now, if there's a map for Formal to bounce back in, it's going to be this one. This is one that you can control the entire game with the NV4 by getting into that power position on top of bridge. That's where you're going to see Formal getting into a lot of his engagements. It's going to be over by Lemon, by Diner, or on top of that bridge, right on top of the bike path as well. That's where you're going to look for Formal. Now, who's going to match up for him from Enigma6? That is going to be the question. Is Proto going to be able to continue his slaying? We've seen General bring out the MV4 at times as well to try to go head-to-head. But I think it harms Enigma6 when General pulls out that MV4. That's just my opinion, because you're not getting that same aggressive playstyle that you're used to getting from him, and that slaying power. It kind of takes that away a little bit.
I actually look on the side of OpTic Gaming for Crim6 to do some damage with the MV4. He's been running it all weekend. He's been very devastating against really a lot of their competitions. Of course, Formal can go back and forth forth. We've seen some E-Rad play out of him as well. So especially on a map like Throwback, I think we're going to see lots of sub-play. And Royalty has the Karma 45 in his hands, a high fire rate SMG that can keep up with the others at range. Let's see how much damage it can do.
Yeah, that's one of the things that with the Karma, he brought it out yesterday, but it's one of those weapons that it has a different time to kill compared to the other submachine guns that in the game. Has a very high clip and a high fire rate as well, but it's not going to be able to do much when it comes down to those E-Rad battles. So now the drone is going to be tossed forward there, and the two players are going to drop from the side of Enigma6. Now Cade and Royalty have to try to fight off the push from OpTic Gaming, and 4 go down. Crim6 has that drone in hand. This should be a 2-point play. You see the players from Enigma6 immediately choosing to overextend. This might be another relay for the side of OpTic Gaming.
Oh, they just gave OpTic Gaming exactly what they needed, but these two players coming in from the tunnel can be the difference maker. It won't matter if they can't win the gunfights. Crim6 and Formal getting up in their face, fully prepared for the overextension due to the communication from the players still in Enigma6's base, and they're starting things off with the bombardment. Dirk, I said this is exactly what you need to worry about with OpTic Gaming. They are punishing Enigma6 for their mistakes.
In the first minute of this uplink, we see 4 points on the board, and Formal is already streaked out. We said if there's a time to turn it around in his performance so far in this series, it is now, sitting at 7-1. He is going to be fully streaked out as well, making very good progress towards that FTL jump. Cade is going to be positioned in mid-map. 3 players are going to be dead for the side of OpTic Gaming. It's left for General to try to fight off that OpTic Gaming push, but now they can make some forward progress with that drone. It's going to be in the hands of Royalty.
So just until a few seconds ago, Proto actually had as many kills as his entire team combined. Now you see them get that 1-point play in. It opened up off the back of Cade's 2-piece that he got on middle map. They're able to move through, put some points on the board. So let's see what they can do in the next 3 minutes.
You see Royalty's off to a very slow start there. Does have a point to his name, but sitting at 1 and 5. Like we said, it's just going to kind of get to one of those points is when do you put this Karma away? When do you bring out the E-Rad or the K-Bar to try to help your team there? You're seeing tagging up some shots, but all you're seeing is assists rain in. Scump is going to be in control of that drone. They're pushing straight towards Statue. One more player there to contest. That is going to be General. He shuts down Scumpy, but Crim6 is going to be there for the backup. The drone looked like it was going to try to go for the 1-point toss, but it is going to fall short.
A defensive stop from the side of Enigma6. They toss the drone back towards middle map, but they still have to win this gun engagement to clear their base. They take out our key player here, Karma, who was trying to stay behind enemy lines and prove to be a nuisance, but Enigma6 is keeping that pressure on. This is a team that is no stranger to aggression and to map pressure, and they can go gun on gun against OpTic Gaming, but Karma with a 2-piece will stop this play in its tracks unless Cade is able to respond like that.
Yeah, you see Cade, he's right there with his teammate Proto backing him up while he has that drone in hand, and very patient play coming from Enigma6, but they're trapped in. The pinch is coming in through the window. It's going to be Formal right behind him. He's going to get the beat down. Proto gets 2, and now he's on a 3-kill spree. This could set them up for the 1-point toss. He tries to throw the drone down at Crim6 to force him to grab it and to pull out his gun to win that gunfight, but he is not going to come out on top. We have now passed 2 minutes. Crim6 is going to throw that drone off for a reset.
Crim6 stamps out that fire that was brewing inside Top Food. They're able to end that play and reset the drone and try and get on towards the offense. Karma finds 2 kills to open up an opportunity. We saw something similar with Cade. Let's see if OpTic can replicate it, but on the opposite side of the map. They toss the drone for distance. It's thrown right back, and Enigma6, that was very well played from them, and General is making the difference on middle map here.
You're starting to see player 8. That's going to be General. If you look at the minimap, the amount of times you see him fly forward, the amount of 2-pieces that he has in this game thus far has been insane. He's been the big reason why the big breaks have started to come from Enigma6, but they don't have much to show for it. The base defense for OpTic Gaming has been absolutely stellar, but now you're going to see Cade try to dip and dive through that side and top green, but he's not going to be able to do that, and they're picking the tightest angle to go through for the side of Enigma6. It's going to be so hard to get 1-point plays going through top green.
That's an already difficult route to take it through, but then you're taking it into the face of OpTic Gaming players that you know are going to be stacked up around fence and hay bales, and it fails every time. You want to see them kind of maybe push through that hay bale section itself rather than come out of that tight corridor as 2 and 3 players. We'll have to see if Enigma6 can adjust to it, but with 40 seconds left in this half, they might not even have to worry about it going into the second round.
Karma's going to go ahead. He looked like he was going to push through underpass, but now he does retreat. Ball is going to be thrown all the way over to Lemon. It's going to be General and crew, but Royalty's now going to be the last alive. Karma picks up a big 2-piece to halt that push from Enigma6. Now in the final 30 seconds, it looked like OpTic Gaming might be able to try to get a 1-point toss off here, but it looks like it could be ending 4-1.
Scump able to finish the kill onto Karma. He actually looks away before the job is even done, knowing it's going to happen. Scump finds a 2-piece, Crim6 with the support, and it looks like we're seeing another drone opportunity. Only 1 player in range needs to stop it, and that's K, who's now on respawn. 2 more points on the board. OpTic Gaming is looking fantastic coming into this second half, Dirk. What can Enigma6 do to respond here?
The only positive you can look at from the side of Enigma6 is you can see the OpTic Gaming players there on your screen. The one thing that they can do is they're going to be going onto the side where that spawn trap is going to be easier to get. This is the situations where you look at Proto, you look at General. These are the guys that you need to start going off and slaying inside of the enemy base.
OG fans.
This is how the way Enigma6 is going to come back in this one. It's not that much of a margin, only 5 points separating these teams, and Enigma6 is capable of this, but we said how dominant OpTic Gaming is. Though being on the bad side, they're still going to continue that pressure and at least get 1 point tosses off.
They're looking at a sea of green and 4 Hulks on the other side of the stage. Enigma6 has a lot to work with, and team killing is not going to make it any easier. Drone in possession of OpTic Gaming. It's cut pretty short because they didn't really have too much kill pressure on mid here, and as you can see with the kill feed lighting up yellow, they should be able to work their way through middle map as long as they can pick up the kills in the flank.
General finds one. Now it's going to be 3 dead for OpTic Gaming. 1 more player left
That's
to
big.
deal with. And the beatdown comes in from General. And just like that, they get a dunk. And now they're set up for the spawn trap and the relay. But the streaks are going to be flying in. This is going to be from Formal. What better time to call in the streaks? They found themselves pinned in their spawn. But now it's going to be OpTic Gaming bouncing right back.
Formal, fully streaked out. He has access to the bombardment. I mentioned that we needed to see him wake up after map 1 and 2. He does just that. And using it to clear out the base to prevent the rally from the side of Enigma6 is so big for OpTic Gaming to continue that momentum that they had. They can try and force the issue mid, but Enigma6 is already there. They need to wake up here soon. And Karma and Scump are well on their way to it.
Proto finds himself 3 OpTic Gaming players around that corner. Scum does drop with that drone in hand, but they're able to trade out that kill immediately. Now look for them to try to get set up for the 1 point toss. Crim6 tosses that drone down, has the E-Red, so he's going to have the major advantage of any player coming inside. He's going to be able to get that kill, and now that gets him the overdrive as well.
Crim6 with access to the active camo. Still needs some support here. He peeks the corner again, hoping he could get the beat down, but Cade, not falling for that, is going to be able to take him out and push that drone back towards middle map. So let's see how General follows it up with that 2-piece. They should be able to move the drone up. Crim6 is a problem, though. Forwell is becoming one, too. As you can see, they're lighting up all gold on the scoreboard on the side of OpTic Gaming. 3 payloads to work with. And with Enigma6 trailing behind by 3, that's going to be really difficult to respond to.
When you see K getting some shots there, but Scum gets the nice turn on him. Now 4 players flooding straight through the middle of the map. They toss 4 for yards. Crim6 has that overdrive ready to go, and you start to see the payloads coming into action. They have the 2 main payloads that you want in uplink, active camo, and overdrive. The bombardment is going to come in. Formal's pushing forward, and it should be a dunk here. OpTic Gaming now leads 8-3.
E6, you're in trouble. 3 minutes of play left here, and you still don't have your payloads while OpTic continue to pour it on. They're looking like they're going to go up 2-1 in this series, but with 2.5 minutes to work with, let's not count out the team that was able to stomp them in hardpoint this series. It's looking really good for OpTic Gaming, though.
It's going to be a tall task to take out the undefeated OpTic Gaming in uplink so far here at CWL Anaheim, but now they do get 3 players down. So we'll see how this one does go. Just looking to play some defense, and now Cade is going to be the drone carrier. He picks that up, waiting for his teammates' support. Looks like they're trying to favor this middle map, but they have to worry about Crim6, who's going to be over here by top bridge. Has that E-Red in hand as well. Spots the player in top green. Just needs to get some more shots in. Cade is 1 shot, and now he is going to be dead. Looks like OpTic Gaming should be square here to get some more points. Karma tosses that drone down. The teammate support's going to come in, but Royalty's able to shut it, and Crim6 gets the overdrive. He's going straight through again. He's trying to go for the 2-point play, and that one goes in as well. 10-3 OpTic Gaming.
If you want to know how to play with the E-Rat on middle map, watch the last 30 seconds of this match and through the eyes of Crim6. He finds those 2 mid-range engagements when Enigma6 didn't even know he was there, and then continues to force the issue on the objective with overdrive and what looks like a game-ending play. Enigma6 has 1.5 minutes to score 7 points, and OpTic has done a lot more with a lot less.
Look at the slaying coming from the side of OpTic Gaming. You have Scum and Karma both dropping 27 apiece. Having a very excellent game there in the slaying department now with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. All OpTic Gaming needs to do is just hold that drone. 1 player's on the hunt from behind. That's going to be Proto, but that's going to be traded out, but his teammates are coming in support from blue. It's going to be General leading the charge, and is he going to get the kill there on Formal? No, he's not going to be able to, and he will be taken out there. The drone going to be tossed down once more. Enigma6 trying to do everything they can to stay alive. Who has the streaks coming in this time? I wonder. It's going to be Crim6. He finds one as Formal finds one with the K-bar. A clean sweep of the Enigma6 players, and that drone is going to be reset.
The green wall, are you satisfied? Look at what we're seeing from Crim6. Crim6 and Karma right here, taking over in this uplink. We're seeing a payload come out from Karma to pave the way for Scump with his ERAD and the drone. They continue to put points on the board. Enigma6 is looking like they've never played uplink before on this map. OG is stomping them, and that has to be a good sign as we head into map number 4, which is hardpoint, and that's been OG's bread and butter, Dirk. That's really scary for E6.
So many, I feel like, of OpTic Gaming's kills came from those defensive stops. I mean, that was one of the biggest things that I can highlight. You saw Enigma6, they were struggling a lot. Getting that drone and trying to run it straight through Ticket when they had no teammate support, it led them to OpTic Gaming basically being gifted those defensive stops. Now, Proto just trying to get some points up on here, but right now, it's not really going to do much as the active camo. He's going to go in for the 2-point play, so score is now 12-5. But it is going to be OpTic Gaming taking the 2-1 series lead over Enigma6, and we're going to be jumping into a hardpoint after this uplink.
OG fans in the crowd, in the venue, are so ecstatic to see the team bring it back here after that horrible map 1 that they had. You can see just as close as they possibly can be. Guy could actually just reach over and tap Krim on the shoulder and say, hey, dude, good job. Great work, man.
You see all the fans there. The green wall runs very deep. If you guys don't know, you see any pictures of them inside the venue, even on the main stage as well, you see all the seats completely filled up. And then when they're on the side stations, it's hard to just try to maneuver around the venue because they
go a really sweaty crowd of people.
They go all the way back to the booths of where everybody's standing too. So green wall runs deep, and I mean that's what you expect when you have the #1 esports organization in Call of Duty.
Right, so let's take a quick recap for anyone that might be tuning in. You are witnessing what looks like an OpTic Gaming close to the series. A strong search and destroy performance from both Scump and Karma turned into an even stronger uplink performance by the entire team, as Enigma6 looks like they used all their steam in that hardpoint. What can they do here once we get into this scorched hardpoint? We'll have to see. Winning 2 hardpoints against a team like OpTic Gaming is a very tall order, but if E6 wants to stay alive in the series, they have to do just that and then win that game 5.
The reason this is going to be so great is because Scorch is one of those more close contested maps, other than Frost, but that's only for uplink. It's one of those that caters to the aggressive playstyle, and you have 2 very, very aggressive teams in Enigma6 and OpTic Gaming. But the question is, are we going to see a game 5? If Enigma6 is able to replicate that first hardpoint performance, it's going to be hard to stop. Proto is going to be the man. Our eyes are going to be locked on, like we've been saying throughout the entirety of this series as well. But I think it's general. He needs to just reign true on this map. This is going to be a man that needs to go off for his team to try to force this game 5. Otherwise, they will be eliminated here at CWL Anaheim.
And you know, the new guy, Royalty, I feel like we haven't gotten to talk about him that much this series. It doesn't seem like he's had nearly as big of plays as the rest of his teammates. There have been several shining moments for the likes of Cade, Proto, and General. So let's actually take a look at the box score and see how that map progressed, because what a stomping from the side of OpTic Gaming. You can see Proto did his best, but it just wasn't even close to enough.
And we talked about, OpTic Gaming was on the good side. That's why they put on so many points. You look at the second half going on to the quote-unquote bad side, and they were able to drop 6 there as well, giving them 12. Enigma6 struggling very hard on the so-called bad side with 1. Then on the good side, they were able to finally string together some dunks, but it only led them to get 5 points there. Foremost, the player that we highlighted got off to a hot start and was a big reason OpTic Gaming stayed in the lead in this one. He was able to use that Trinity Rocket off the respawn, completely stop the setup that Enigma6 had. He finished with 19 kills and a .95 kill to death ratio. But look, 6 scores to his name as well. That is going to be 3 dunks.
And Dirk, let's talk a little bit about what makes these sides advantageous here. That's what Enigma6 is working with in the second half. It's just so easy, not easy, but it's so favorable to get into that back bowling alley position to watch for those spawns towards blue. And the one time that they were able to do it, we saw those score streaks coming in from OpTic. They couldn't rally those points and try and climb up that deficit that they had set up for themselves, and OpTic just did it better on both halves.
Yeah, it's so powerful just because you get to a point where if you're a professional team and you sit there and you're like, okay, we know there's going to be 2 players on our base now, we need to overextend. And in that time that it takes to go all the way through Barn to try to wrap around through the enemy's underpass, they're already going to at least have 2 dunks in. So that's going to be 4 points already on the board. And now you can try to attack through tunnel as well, but you're coming through such a narrow way. So that's going to be one of the hard things in this. But jumping into the hard point, it's going to be Scorch. Will Enigma6 be sent home packing? And will OpTic Gaming go through? That is going to be the question. We're going to start off this one with the green wall, and it's going to be on board with Formal.
Elimination match here, guys. OpTic Gaming is 1 map away from closing it out. Enigma6 started off hot. They seem to have slowed down a bit as the players of OpTic Gaming, namely Scump, Karma, Crim6, have just gone off. Proto opens it up with a double kill, and that's a very good sight for what is to come in this hard point.
And immediately the flying is going to come in from Enigma6, and we already see Proto off to a 3-1 start. General is going to be the lone player inside of that hill. See him getting in a nice line of sight. The OpTic Gaming players currently split. You see 1 of 3 and 2 of 4 on the opposite sides of the map. Probably doing everything he can to try to hunt down this player in this back factory. He's going to get into an engagement, but it's going to be Scump coming out on top there. Now, OpTic Gaming still trying to fight for control of this bridge. Currently, is going to be contested with Formal inside of the hill. And from the side of Enigma6, that is going to be Cade.
Formal body him, gets that double kill onto mid. His patience wears off as he gets the team support. That was actually a really good play right there for Formal to be able to take over mid-map, get his team that scrap time, and allow the rest of them to rotate over to Turbine without having to worry about too much pressure coming in from that middle doorway of Warehouse. Now, if we take a look at their mini-map, Enigma6 pouring it on from the top, sending 3 players into that anchor spot that's going to be so difficult for the remainder of OpTic Gaming to handle. They clear it right out. Great play and awesome gunfight wins from Enigma6 there.
And we know how hard this hill is going to be to break here at Turbine. Look for General. This could open things up if Crim6 is able to win this gunfight. General gets all the way down to 1 shot, so he's going to retreat over here to Lava Pit. He's going to be able to get this kill. He knows Crim6 is coming around. Royalty picks up a nice 2-piece inside, and he's starting to get things heated up. This is a guy that you said we haven't really talked about him as much, but this could be the chance where he steps up and takes over the slaying. But still, Enigma6 holding strong. You're going to see the Scarab come into play there from Formal. Not going to get much from it. Gets a little intel where the players are going to be, but an excellent hold here from Enigma6, getting close to the full 60 seconds.
Yeah, that early break just spelled out the remainder of the hill for Enigma6. You see them mounting a big lead here. OpTic Gaming realizes they can't push that anymore, so the setup on the opposite side of the map. That's why you see Formal able to kill Royalty, who was running into his aim down sight assault rifle. They have the setup for another big 60 hardpoint. Green wall. This is where your team can close this deficit, and this is actually one of their better hills on this map.
Yeah, if you look back to last series they played against Rise, this is one that they got, I believe, close to 120 seconds just off of this hill alone. Scump is going to be the player inside, and when you have Formal and Crimson slaying outside, it's going to make Scump's life just easy. He hops outside of the hill, nobody in there to collect the time for OpTic Game, but one does go in. Now you're going to see the attack coming in from Skybird. It's going to be Proto leading the charge. No teammate support. He's immediately going to be taken out there by Scump and Karma, and you already see OpTic Gaming is clawing back into this one. They should have the rest of the time unless player 5, that's going to be Cade. If he's able to do anything, he starts off with getting his first kill.
I think this hill's so difficult for a lot of teams because it requires so much communication due to how many entry points there are and the little things that you can do to give your team a slight advantage when breaking it. OpTic Gaming has that communication down pat, so it's really difficult to sort of get the edge on them in any direction, and they're just able to hold down what looked like the entirety of the hill, finding their way, almost tying up this game as they move over to drill.
Proto finds himself in a sticky situation. Put him as the meat in between the bread of OpTic Gaming, if you shall say. Crim6 is now going to be inside of the hill. He's on a 7-kill streak. 9-4 is what he's sitting at. He has that Trinity Rocket. 1 more kill should secure him this bombardment as well. Karma is going to fall inside of observation deck. Going to have some players watching from the back there, but Crim6 just needs to try to stay alive because that bombardment could be absolutely huge. He spots one. He's able to get it, and Crim6 is continuing his spree, but now he has earned that bombardment as well. But Enigma6 takes over the hill, but another flood is coming in from the side of OpTic Gaming. It's going to be Karma getting the kill.
Crim6 lashing out with that 7-kill streak to award his team some score streaks. We saw just how strong they were able to be in the uplink for OpTic Gaming. I expect similar usage here in this hardpoint, and he's not stopping. Pouring it on with the NV4. He was able to find a kill, but you see Enigma6 bites right back, finds the scrap time, and now we're right back to the beginning. Take a look at your scoreboard. 2 evenly matched hardpoint teams on this Scorch at the moment as we're nearly tied up in our second set of hills.
OpTic Gaming is set up nicely for this one, but we saw how well Enigma6 could break it, and they got a lot of time off of this one compared to the likes of OpTic Gaming. FTL jump is going to be rocked there by Formal. He's going to be able to find one, but now the player is going to be inside. That is going to be Proto, and Scump is going to be there for support. Now OpTic Gaming regains control. Spawns are going in favor of the side of Enigma6 with 30 seconds left here in Bridge. Look for one more push. The pinch is starting to come around from Cade, but he is immediately going to be shut down.
This is an elimination match. They want to continue to grow that deficit. OpTic Gaming leading by 20 seconds, but Enigma6 bites back regardless. And this next hill coming up is actually one that E6 was able to hold very well after the initial break of OpTic's setup. But this time, they're getting both the middle hill time, and it looks like they're getting spawns toward Turbine too. So let's see how they work with this advantage.
This player pushing in right here. You see the spawns get split, so now it's just a toss-up. These gunfights are going to be huge here on Turbine. Scump wins one. One more player is going to be inside of the factory. That is going to be Proto, but he's waiting for that teammate support. One player is going to be behind. That is going to be Karma, and he shuts him down. But more of the flood coming in from that bottom side. You see the 3 Enigma6 arrows. First kill is going to go towards General, but immediately it's going to be traded out.
Right there was a failure of Proto to read the spawns from OpTic Gaming, and Karma took full advantage of it by firing into his back. And now they're continuing the flood down hallway. Crim6 all on his lonesome, can't win the gunfight, neither can Formal. And Cade finds a big double kill right there. Continues to pour through hallway, and he wants to kill all of OpTic Gaming by himself. He continues to spawn them way far out towards Cave, and that's so tough to fight back from as E6 is just milking the entirety of this hill once again.
Yep, and now we see another great hold coming in from the side of E6, and Royalty turns, gets Scump, but one more player comes up to follow. That is going to be Formal. So the remaining time on Turbine is going to be going towards OpTic Gaming. You see the rotations coming in from Skybridge. One player is already going to be set up inside the hill. That's going to be Karma, but this is where Enigma6 can try to get the break. It's going to start here with Cade coming from the backside.
We saw OpTic was able to hold this hill very well last time. Crim6 ended it on a 7 streak to be fully streaked out. However, the kill's going in favor of Enigma6 here, but Formal finding that last one might be what puts OG over the edge. It's just Proto all on his lonesome here. The rest are flooding in from the front. Cade gets there just in time, Dirk.
Crim6 is going to find a kill inside, but kills being traded back and forth between both teams. Now Crim6 just doing everything he can to stay alive, and just like that, Enigma6 is finally able to break the OpTic Gaming setup, but now they have to worry about Karma in front. They are going to be able to eliminate him as well. And now Enigma6 getting some very good time on this. 160 is the score for them, and rising to OpTic Gaming's 142.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing E6, not EG, responding to this hill a lot better than they did in the first rotation, where they just fed Crim6, right? They couldn't get into this hill to do anything. The gunfights were easily in favor of OG, and now we're seeing them fight back and get a decent amount of time here. And they find themselves with a 30-second lead coming into drill, so E6 might be adapting a little bit better than OpTic Gaming here as we get into our third rotation.
Crim6 does have this Trinity Rocket ready to go. This is one of those hills where you can decide to hover that, force the players into security or force them into observation deck. So look for him to try to use that one off of the respawn, as Enigma6 is getting some very good time to start off this drill hill. Let's go ahead and jump onto Crim6, see what he's going to do. That Trinity Rocket is going to come into play. Just going to hover it here. He knows getting the calls for his team. They double push the player inside security, and that is going to be Karma coming out on top. 2 players drop for Enigma6, and now this is where the break comes in for OpTic Gaming. Formal comes around with the pinch, and just like that, OpTic Gaming regain control.
The dirty double, following it with the triple, connects with 4. That's 5 kills. Formal is untouchable right now. A massive play to give his team control of the drill hardpoint. And the crowd is roaring.
You could not let that happen if you're Enigma6. You let Formal get enough time to reload and pick up the 2-piece there, which made his streak 5. But the game is still continuing, and OpTic Gaming has lost control. The 200-point mark is about to be surpassed here if they get the rest of this time. So let's see how this one goes. The flood is going to be coming into middle map. It's going to be OpTic Gaming, the first team there.
OpTic is coming into the third rotation of hills with Formal feeling probably the best adrenaline rush he's had in the past couple of minutes. That was an awesome play out of him, and you wouldn't expect anything less from someone of his caliber. E6, though, using the camo to try and break middle hardpoint. They can't make anything from it. OpTic wipes everyone except Royalty, but he knows he can't fight this alone. That's a waste of camo right there. They thought they had a play ahead of them, but it gets shut down so quickly.
So premature shots coming in there from Proto with that, trying to get the active camo player. That was Karma inside of the hill, but now Karma overextends in general, picks up a 2-piece. Now this Hulk OpTic Gaming push just for a little bit, but Formal is going to come in. The man is on fire. 27 and 18 for him. One more player slides inside. That's going to be Royalty. He dropped as well. Cade is going to be outside of the hill to try to contest, but now OpTic Gaming have taken the lead, and it continues to rise. But this is going to be a crucial here. It could end here for either team. So let's see how this one does go. Royalty is going to be set up in the lower part of the map.
This hill has been E6's so many times throughout this map. Royalty looks to keep it that way as he pushes out elbow. Getting way too antsy, shaky shots. That sensitivity making him fly all over the place. Luckily, General and Proto are there to keep up. Enigma6 realize their tournament life is on the line. 30 seconds separate OpTic Gaming from closing it out, but E6 is in control. Let's see what OpTic can do as they push in from security as the kills go in favor of E6. OpTic spawns farther and farther out, and this gets more difficult as every second passes.
Enigma6's setup here is just so great. They aren't able to get it. They're forcing OpTic Gaming to sprawl all the way in back rock. One player just sitting inside the hill. That's probably soaking up the time, but he has Cade, General, and Royalty slaying inside and out, and Royalty picks up a two-piece to halt that OpTic Gaming push even more.
No.
Now just close to closing this game out. If OpTic Gaming contests, we will be going to another hill, but it's looking so damn good for the side of Enigma6. Proto needs to get this kill on Scum. The reactive armor comes into play. Is he going to have to pick up the kill? But we will be going over towards Hangar at 1 second separate. No, it's going to be the game, and Enigma6 stays alive.
Enigma6 close it out in a big way. They don't let Formal's 5-piece get into their heads. They bring it right back and remain consistent on what was their best hill throughout that entire map. OpTic just couldn't answer on that money hill. And in the end of what was an intense, close hardpoint, E6 edges them out and forces the Game 5 in this elimination match, Dirk.
It looked like Scump was just about to get enough time in there. It was separated by like 0.5 seconds. If I had to go straight off the top of my head, we were this close to going over towards Hangar, where we've seen OpTic completely dominate the entire time, and they had the setup ready to go as well.
Yeah,
heartbreaking loss.
It looked like they were kind of like betting on that they didn't have enough time or something, because they were very slow on their pushes. Now, granted, they were spawning really far out, but it just looked like E6 had that under control from start to finish.
They had the right mindset with Scum going into that reactive, just try to stay alive as long as possible, and he did, to be fair, but Proto had him there on that last gunfight, and that made them win that. But now we are going to a Game 5 to see who stays here at CWL Anaheim, but that will be coming up after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
If you're just tuning in here, We are live at the Call of Duty World League Anaheim Open presented by the PlayStation 4. We're heading into Game 5 between OpTic Gaming and Enigma6 in an elimination match. I'm Fox. I'm joined by Dirk here for this cast. And these two teams have had some crazy highlight-worthy moments in this series. And one of them was them pretty much just watching Formal play the game as he got a 5-piece. What looked like a 5-piece at least.
It definitely was, but then you can go ahead and get that all you want, but Enigma6 came out with the win.
And they still closed the map.
Yeah, that's one of the things there too. So guys, we're going to quickly jump into a box score, the previous hardpoint game before we do jump into this search and destroy. And Fox, I just want you to look at this and what immediately jumps out to you?
Well, how about the fact that there's 130 seconds on Turbine. That is a laughable difference. OpTic Gaming, that is just that hill specifically in this map was just a horrific disappointment for them. That can't happen. And you can see Enigma6 takes full advantage of that, finds the end of the game. Despite some big plays out of the side of Formal and Crim6, it just wasn't enough. And we see them close out the map there. A lot of hill time there coming from Proto. That was our key player, our G Fuel key player here in the matchup against Karma, who didn't really seem to contribute a whole lot in the hardpoint last map, but there's still an S&D to be played, and that's really where he went off this series.
Yeah, and it's something that you don't usually see. The hill time on drill completely split 42 to 42. But you have to give it up for Proto's OBJ work. Now, necessarily, we brought it up. Proto was just sitting inside of the hill, but his three teammates were completely outside slang. He was getting a lot of that time there in the turbine, posted up on the generator box, just watching to see on that wall run. But like we said, when you have your three teammates clicking on all cylinders, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really have to do it. You don't have to shoot your gun. The only time I think I really saw him shoot his gun, and at least on that last turbine hill, was at Scump when he flew through with the reactive armor.
Right, but getting into the search and destroy, guys, we're slowing things down a little bit. Going from a fast-paced, aggressive respawn, we're getting into search and destroy. So let's look at some of the players that we typically expect to contribute in these high-pressure moments. Because remember, OpTic Gaming and Enigma6 are in an elimination match. OpTic has had to make that losers bracket run. Let's take a look at Formal. He's someone that is constantly going off for them in these moments. He does not crack under the pressure. You've seen all his stats across tournaments. Take a look at what he's doing right now.
Just basically Matthew Piper, right? That's what we're typically used to seeing. KD 1.38 in uplink, a 1.38 as well. Then in hardpoint, he's going to get himself a 1.26. Had a slow start to this series, but he's finally been able to pick it up. And I think that big turning point came inside that uplink. He carried it over to the hardpoint, but now is he going to be able to carry it into search and destroy?
Right, and just to be specific, these statistics that we're looking at from Formal are across the entire tournament. This is not series specific. So very impressive stuff from Formal, who despite starting off slow, has definitely brought it back from the uplink and on. So I look to see what he can do in this Game 5 here. On the side of Enigma6, though, we've seen that Proto has been no slouch across many of these maps. Cade is also contributing in a very big way, despite not putting up massive numbers. So I want to give him a quick shout out, too.
From the side of Enigma6, this needs to be the royalty show. He's the guy yesterday against Evil Geniuses who was able to make some big plays. He was able to clutch up in 1 versus 2, 1v1s as well. But it came down to 1v1 with Parasite, which he did end up losing. But he went huge for them in that search and destroy in sort of a win, move forward, or you're going to get bumped down to the loser's bracket match. He did everything he could. He dropped double-digit kills as well. So this is my guy with the pressure, with their backs against the wall.
So you're looking at the new guy. You're expecting royalty to do something here.
The Canadian monster.
I just really feel like you can't. I feel like we're doing a disservice to Cade to not mention the big plays that he's had. I mean, there have been so many double kills that he's gotten to stop the drone in uplink. He had 4 plants in the search and destroy when Enigma6 was hitting that B site over and over again. No hesitation to play that objective. I feel like he's been contributing a lot. Even in the respawns, stopping OpTic Gaming on the rotation. He was always the player ahead, watching that cut as the front line. So I look to see him do some damage here in this S&D.
Oh, it's going to be intense as the players do load up here. The map is going to be throwback. The game mode that we all know and love is going to be search and destroy. So much pressure on the boys from OpTic Gaming right here after a rough finish in the playoffs. Now coming into this, they could be going home to Enigma6, but map number 5 is underway. We're going to start this one off with the offensive side, and the guy I said to watch, it's going to be Royalty. He will be the bomb carrier as well, and that B site is completely wide open.
All wide open for the offensive play of Enigma6, and man, this is going to be the start of what should be a crazy search and destroy. It seems like OpTic Gaming and Enigma6 in the later stages of these tournaments always seem to put on a show. Crim6 starting things off with a kill onto Proto for first blood.
And you see they have a bomb planted in a position where you can watch it from that back blue area. Now it's just a question, how are OpTic Gaming going to attack this? You have Crim6 with an E-Rad, Scump as well. Karma has the K-Bar, so look for him to put down some shots. But this is where Formal is going to come big. He's coming around here on the flank. He spots Royalty. He takes him out. 2 more players over by Blue. 20 seconds trying to get this bomb defused. You see the 4 walls of green go towards the side of Enigma6, and just like that, they are going to take the first round here. Defuse is going to be going to Karma.
The OG fans roaring after every round cannot feel good for Enigma6. They need to respond here soon. They just need, the best thing for them is silence between rounds. Honestly, in a situation like this, that has to be demoralizing to deal with.
It definitely does. And it all started there with Formal coming around on the pinch. He found himself 2 kills in that round. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get the defuse because it would have been detonated by the time that he would have gotten there as well. But they do get the first round there on the board. So now let's see how OpTic Gaming decides to attack here on offense. Again, Crim6 with the E-Rad in hand, as well as Scump. Jammer grenade for Scump and the Flechette as well. Karma going to be pushing straight down onto this A site. The Flechette is going to go outside for him, but the 4-man stack over towards mid is OpTic Gaming's game plan. So far, no shots have been traded yet.
No kills from Enigma6 other than Cade's single kill last round. Karma looks to plant this bomb, but he knows there has to be someone nearby. Checking that corner, loses the gunfight to Proto, though, so he's going to maintain his strong position as well as eyes on the bomb. He needs to communicate that to the rest of his team. Cade is in a good position to protect it with them. OpTic Gaming has a pretty big disadvantage to work with.
Formal's getting himself into a position up in top tick. He spots 1 player, man. That's going to be General. Gets him tagged up to 1 shot. He's going to be forced to retreat, but that gives Scump the go-ahead to try to get aggressive to take out General, but the health has been regened. See what Formal and Scump are going to be able to do here. 40 seconds left to work with. That bomb is down on the side of A towards Enigma6's base. See how they're going to be able to play this. 1 more player on site. The jammer grenade is going to hit. He's going to be able to take out Cade. 1 more player going to be directly around the corner. That is going to be Royalty and Proto. But no, just like that, it's going to be Enigma6 getting the round on the board.
There it is. E6 gets around on the board, and like I said, you just want to hear golf claps at the end of these rounds. You really don't want to hear these OG fans screaming at you in such a high-pressure moment. There it is as they get 1 on the board to tie things up here, Dirk.
Formal's in a very sticky situation now with the MV4 towards that A site. You saw the pinch come in from Enigma6. Great way to close out that round. So now tied up 1-1 as Enigma6 heads back on the offensive. Cade is going to be your bomb carrier every single time for the side of Enigma6. Seeing the hit onto A, the Flechettes are going to go out as well. Royalty's getting very, very aggressive here. He's pushing straight up with that K-bar, trying to find a player here towards this barn area. The first blood is going to be going to the side of Enigma6.
General finds a big kill. We got 1 E6 player behind enemy lines. He was going on a really slow flank here, but inevitably is able to find the kill and get 2 rounds on the board. E6 was looking good in the first, well, looking okay in the first S&D on their offensive rounds, and they're looking to repeat that here in this search and destroy as we see Royalty closing it out in our round-ending kill cam.
2-1 lead now. Like you said, if you're on the side of Enigma6, you want to be winning these rounds because you know as soon as OpTic Gaming gets a kill or they win a round, you're going to hear that crowd right behind you screaming and yelling for their team to try to pull this one out. Karma does have that bomb in hand. Going to see a similar strategy. 2-time are going to push mid. That's going to be Scump and as well as Crim6. They're going to be able to get some trades, but it's going to be Enigma6 coming out on top of that one. Bomb looks like it might be going down, but no, Karma is just playing on that A site, but now he's going to be left last line.
Royalty.
Royalty flies over
That's
top.
An ace.
Just like
That's
that.
An ace.
The Canadian battle of Royalty comes out on top of this one over Karma. You're going to see him in your final kill cam.
Royalty dons the crown, wiping away the entirety of the green wall and what felt like 10 seconds or less, making it look easy as he runs through them in that S&D round. Let's take a look at his payload progress, man, as well as his score streaks. That's a big moment for him.
See this, Royalty is getting very close to that reactive armor here in round number 5. 125 off that Trinity rocket as well. Let's see what he does here, pushing straight onto the site. This bomb is going to be going down. I'm wondering if Formal was able to get eyes on it, but General is going to come out on top in that MV4 battle. 1 more player around the corner. That's going to be Karma.
Keep him
and
alive.
Just like that, 1 more player left alive for OpTic Gaming. Scump finds 1. Now it's just a 1 versus 3. Turns around, he's able to find Royalty. Can he find the third?
Stop.
He takes out K, but no, the kills are going to come in and it's traded, and OpTic Gaming falls in that round.
Their entire goal right there was to just get the quick plant, keep Royalty alive. That's why you saw the NV4 player sitting behind him and looking over him. His life isn't important, it's Royalty's life, and they do just that, trying to continue those score streaks and that payload progress, because an early reactive armor could mean the end of OpTic Gaming's tournament run. This Game 5 is the end of it for one of these 2 teams, and Enigma6 has a massive lead built for them right now.
Let's see if OpTic is going to be able to bounce back here. The flechette comes in, the aggressiveness coming on from Royalty, but Scump is going to be able to counteract that one. Now man advantage going towards OpTic Gaming. See the two players positioned over by middle map. Karma has to go ahead to get this bomb down. Kate is laying down some shots, and Crim6 is going to come on top of that engagement. General, he's been on fire so far, as well as Proto. Now Crim6 left in a 1 versus 2. He finds one, but now it is Enigma6 leading 5-1 over OpTic Gaming in a win-or-go-home match.
Enigma6, can they do it? 5 rounds up against OpTic Gaming's 1 in this elimination match. This is OpTic's last chance. No more mistakes from here on out, but the lead that E6 has built for themselves, and not just the score, but payload progression, score streak earning. That's a lot to work through for 5 rounds straight, and General is approaching that bombardment. Let's keep an eye on this guy.
So much utility to work with here. Can OpTic Gaming do the impossible and come back? We've seen it in the past. Cade is going to be on that bomb site. He flows the flechette out, but you see through the X-ray, you see all the players stacked there. Royalty is going to be able to find a kill, but it's immediately going to be traded out. So now it is a 3 versus 3 situation. The Scarab is into play. General's able to find one. That's going to freeze him in place just for a little bit, but nobody is there for the trade.
Streaks.
General has the Trinity Rocket in. He fires it down. He's not going to be able to pick up anything, but he is going to gather so much intel for his team.
This is a very expensive round from the side of Enigma6. That's a Scarab and a Trinity Rocket gone, and he still doesn't even have the bombardment secured. So he needs to stay alive and find this bombardment if they lose this round. He can't do it. Crim6 with a big shutdown. He has to know how valuable that kill is. Traps the player on the bomb. That's a big stop right there. OG turns it around.
The comeback, it all starts with just 1 round, and you continue 1 round at a time. Crim6 now just 100 off that Scarab there as well. And we have to go backtrack and talk about how much General just invested into that round. The Trinity Rocket as well as the Scarab. And they did end up losing. So now the side is switching. If you guys are just now tuning in, this is an elimination match between OpTic Gaming and Enigma6. Loser is gone from the tournament. Proto has that active camo, and General has the FTL jump to go as well. Let's see how OpTic Gaming attacks this one. We're going to see the similar thing that we see in the last round, too. 2 going towards mid. Karma, the bomb carrier, pushing over towards mid as well.
Karma, being the closest one to the Enigma6 roster, could be a little dangerous should they decide to get aggressive here. And it looks like that might happen here. 1 under underpass. Player 4, that's General. He catches him in his back. He doesn't have time to check the body for the bomb, though. Proto, with the camo play, spots a player on bus, has to win that gunfight. He does just that. Scump in a 1 versus 3 with the reactive armor, finds a clutch kill. Enigma6 closes it out at 6-2. That is the end of OpTic's run.
And OpTic Gaming, you are sent home packing. Enigma6 comes out there on top. And we're going to get a look here at the final statistics for the side of Enigma6. The player I said who needs to go off, but his entire team went off. Royalty drops 8 kills, and we saw the aggressiveness every single time he was leading the charge for Enigma6. A big reason they had those success. Those first bloods are so crucial.
Royalty just found his value in 1 match of search and destroy right here to this Enigma6 roster. The new guy coming up in a big way alongside General, the team captain. They put so much into this series, and they're able to close it out against one of the best teams in the Call of Duty World League, shutting down one of the most winningest players of all time in the form of Crim6. This is a scary team on Championship Sunday. Make sure you follow the action here. But let's take a quick recap. As you can see, this is how the action unfolded. E6 off to an early start, and then Dirk let him know what happened in this search and destroy uplink as OG stepped it up.
They definitely did. 6-4 was on Crusher. It was a game that went right down to the wire, and the score shows 6-4. But in the uplink, OpTic still remains undefeated. I mean, and now we don't get to see him play anymore uplink here in this tournament. So still, they're undefeated in uplink for this one. They win that one 12-5.
Silver lining, right?
In a dominating fashion. Then we go to Scorch Hardpoint, another nail biter, and Enigma6 came out on top of that one. Then the most recent map that you guys just saw was that throwback search and destroy, and it was all Enigma6 right from the beginning.
Enigma6 crushes the green wall as well as the dreams of many fans for them to make that losers bracket run this weekend. I encourage a lot of you guys that are watching to continue to follow this E6 team throughout the rest of this tournament, because that's a big statement to make, to take down a team like that in a Game 5 elimination match. And they have to play against another tough opponent. Following that right up, Splice, our CWL Stage 1 champions.
That is going to be an interesting one, to say the least. And you guys see at the top there, losers round 6. It's going to be Cloud9 going up against Evil Geniuses there as well. So now Enigma6, they take out OpTic Gaming. Now they have to go up against Splice. It's like they just can't get a break
Yeah.
from all these great teams as well. But what a great Sunday it has been just far, and we're just getting started.
The strongest teams remain in the tournament, and Enigma6 has to try and battle through the last few if they want that first place spot. Taking out OpTic Gaming was probably one of their biggest obstacles, and now the next one is to come. That is the Splice European roster. So guys, I think that's going to be it for us in this series. We're going to cut to a commercial break before we get ready with our next series. Stay tuned.